Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room, a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat where you hang out with me in here, follow me on my sewing journey, and I hope you are inspired to put something under the needle. That's what this channel is all about, for the most part. Hey, everybody in the chat. Good to see you guys this morning. Looks like we got a happy group here today. So nice. I got an email yesterday and someone said, how do I join in the sunshine group? Well, if you ever belong to a club or something like that, or a group, especially of ladies, they will have a sunshine committee, and the sunshine committee is responsible to make sure that everybody feels welcome, and they might assign a big sister or something to you so that you don't sit by yourself and you don't feel like there's all these little cliques and whatnot. And we have that, but it is virtual and you are in the right place. So good morning, all. Everybody is so chipper here in the chat. If you're brand new, please leave a comment in the chat or below the video if you're watching on replay, and let us know that you're new. We love all skill levels. And Shan says, I love all the people here. Just so nice. So nice. Yeah. We don't deal with that kind of drama, do we? Listen, speaking of nice girls, what do we have here? We have a trash can, but I have a Frito and there's a Dottie hiding. Yeah, you are. What do you got in your fur? They got a bath yesterday, y'all. Yes, you did, didn't you? Did you get a bath? Dottie's over there. Oh, y'all, I left your bucket. Y'all, it's on the other side of the table. Just a minute. Pardon my reach. Excuse me. Here we go. There's that sweet Dot. There's my Frito. You're such good girls. Yeah, that was, if y'all would believe it, that was actually Dottie's first bath ever. She's 11 months old. And she did not like that blow dryer, did you? We had a mobile groomer come to the house. If I was 20 years younger, I would have groomed them myself. Y'all want a stick? Look at this. We've got rawhide chewies with chicken on it. Yummy, huh? Good stuff. All right, let's go out and go brush our teeth. Hey, Debbie, good morning. Good morning. Patty says, I love no drama. Come on, we don't have drama in here. Come on, girls, let's go. Come on, come on. Oh, you're good girls. Oh, one for you, one for you. Okay, go bother daddy. Go brush your teeth, girl. Oh, went over a squeaky toy. Okay. I got a lot done yesterday. I hope you did too. Did you guys get some stitching done in your sewing rooms? Oh my goodness. Let me turn this back around. I got a lot done. Here is Designs by JUJU's June. It is finished. How cool did that come out? So pretty. Little envelope back. And there are little magnets taped in here. And then I just keep swapping out magnets. So this June mini quilt goes on the house if you want to make it, if you haven't already. Those of you that have this and haven't gotten started, y'all need to get with the program, okay? So we just switch out the mini quilt, and the house itself is a freebie design if you spend $30 or more on Designs by JUJU. And I have a link below to all of this stuff, okay? If you'd use my links, I appreciate it. And the little hanger thing up at the top with the bobbins is from Ackfeld Wire. Okay, I don't have a link to them. You can get it on Amazon. I've got them in my Amazon store. So we just switch these out as the months change. I'm running out of time to get home sewn done. So I will be doing some of that. Tomorrow's our quilting day, but we'll probably work on that on Thursday. Get that done. Yeah, get that going. Okay. Lots to talk about today. Lots of good stuff. You did get a lot done, Rhonda. Good. Oh, you worked on the hen house? So did I. So on hen house, Diane had shared with me a article from Fons and Porter 100 years ago. There's hen house right there. And it talked about, instead of doing rows of blocks like I did on this bottom one for sashing and your sashing. I hate sashing. It's the worst. It talked about doing a block and a piece of sashing, sew them together. And then the next that you put together is this piece of sashing and a cornerstone, you put those two together, and then you sew this unit to this right here. And you continue to build it like that. That is brilliant. I love that. And I'm going to construct all of my quilts that have sashing just like that from now on. It's a totally different way of thinking about it, but it works great. So, okay. I had started already doing this the old way, so I'm kind of stuck on that. And I will put this row here to this, and then I'll get all those blocks. I'm doing those the new way. So I'm really excited about that. Yesterday I finished, let me show you. So we're working on Kimberbells, sipping on sunshine. I finished the grapes. See them there? They're a little low. Don't look. Okay, little off center, but that's okay. So am I. It's all right. And then I also finished the strawberries. Did that. So I got 3 blocks done yesterday. And I promised I would show you guys how to do the fringe on the little beach blanket. Okay. And then today we're going to work on Stitch Your Sewing Room. There's the wall hanging with those 3 panels. And Thursday at, oh, I got to tell y'all, Thursday, we're going to move our quilts for Elizabeth Hartman's, that one. Okay. We're going to do the deer for that block right there. Thursday, we're not going to do that until 1:30. I have a doctor's appointment at 9:45, so I got to end Thursday's show just a little bit early and then run over to the VA. You know, I had an appointment for the other week, and they canceled it and sent me a paper and said, oh, you're going to go on the 21st. And I'm like, thanks. I had a hair appointment then. I had to cancel that, you know, whatever. Y'all don't get me started. I was on a tear this morning about brother printer. Oh, I'll tell you about it in a little bit. Okay, so I had also told y'all that I was going to, excuse me, let me turn around. I had told y'all, yeah, so Sylvia's been doing her sashing that way for a while. You thought yourself too lazy for that. I get bored easily. And so with my sewing, so to me, it's more stimulating to do a short and then, you know, and put those together like that, as opposed to one big old long strip. You got to pin. Anyway, so I do like my brother printer. It's Brother's Policies, printer policies for refresh the ink. We'll talk about it in a minute. I do love my brother printer. Brother's got it going on for sewing machines. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to the printer policies, okay, we're here to talk about sewing, not my printer. My husband was like, you shouldn't get so wound up about that. And I'm like, I've been trying to fix this for 3 days. Anyway, so real quick. So here's my little beach blanket for the picnic for yesterday. Didn't that come out cute? See the little fringe? It's 3D. That little fringe is 3D. Isn't that nice? I guess it's block by block sashing. You need a name for the new way of sashing. That way of sashing is not new. That's been around forever. I need a sip of coffee. Where's my mug? Y'all give the video a thumbs up if you're sitting there doing nothing. If you're watching on TV, grab your channel remote and your TV remote and hit the channel up button. The fringe is super cute. We use our printers for sewing. I know we do. Keith has had to reprint a couple of pages from his legit kits, you know, because he'll make a boo-boo and have to come and reprint the piece. Yeah, we do. So let me show you real quickly how to make that adorable fringe. This is the original stitch right here. They're flat little stitches, okay? The key to doing this, these are filthy. The key to doing that is to make sure that the bottom edge of the fringe stitch is secured down by another stitch, okay? You don't want to do this if you don't have it secured. So what they did they put this really pretty decorative stitching right here in this tan, and it sits right on top of the bottom edge of that fringe stitch. So the fringe was stitched first, and it looked like this. So the yellow went down first, and then the tan just covered it just a tiny bit. It says to switch out a different color bobbin to do this, and that's to make it easier for you to see which threads to cut. Well, I don't want to do that. I've been doing this for years, and so I did not switch out my thread colors because I'm lazy. But I'm going to show you now. Let me get a seam ripper. You can use a seam ripper or a little tiny snips. It's right over here. Okay, here it is. One of these little seam rippers my husband makes. This is the necklace version without the necklace in it. All right, so you can see, I'll zoom y'all up real close. Okay, we'll use a little telephoto here. That's why I paid money for that fancy camera instead of a phone. So you can see the white part, those are the bobbin threads. Okay, so you've got the yellow on the top, and then you have the bobbin. Now, what you do is you just come in and put your seam ripper right under, you can really see them here, right under those bobbin threads, and just cut them. I'm going to go under 2 at a time and just cut through. Don't be nervous. It's fine. Okay. Just a little bit at a time. So don't forget, remember I told y'all, you can see the yellow right in here. That bottom edge of the yellow is secured under the tan. You do this all the time. The first time I ever did this with KIMBERBELL was on their little Christmas ornaments that went into a hoop, and they had little fringe for the beards on the wise men. That's what, so you just have to just be real careful. You don't need to do the top part. You're just doing the middle, okay? If these had been a different color, it'd have been fine. Easier for you to see, but more work for me. So you just want to do this really simple with a sharp seam ripper. Don't go through the stabilizer. I'm almost done, and now I'm getting, I'll make sure I'm in the right spot so you guys can see. Okay. And then right up here, right to the end, just like that. Okay. So now I've torn open all of these bobbin threads, and then flip it over, and with your fingernail, just give it a little scrape, and you'll get little loopy fringe. Look at this. So cute. Look at that. 3D fringe. Isn't that precious? And it's not going anywhere. And your little white bobbin threads stay on the back. I didn't change the color only because I didn't want any of those pulling up from the front and being seen like if I used black or green or something like that. So that's too much work for me. That's how you do it. Again, changing the bobbin thread is only to make your life easier if you don't know what you're doing. But you guys know what you're doing now because I just showed you. I've got a piece in there that I missed. You can see it there. And there's my little fringe. Didn't that come out as cute as can be on my little beach blanket? How about that? Too cute. Yeah, making fringe is fun. How cool is that? Rosalind says. How cool is that? Fun. I love learning new little techniques. KIMBERBELL always has something fun for us to do. So my block is finished now. It's all good. Okay. I had to square it out 8.5 by 10.5, and it worked fine. So 3 blocks got done yesterday. I'm almost finished. I need to do the bluebird and the 3 baskets, and I can start putting it. Well, so now that I have this makes up the last block for section 4. So I'm going to go ahead and sew together section 4 today. Section 1 is already sewn together. I showed you how to put those stems, get those right. Now today we're going to work on Stitch Your Sewing Room, which is by Riley Blake Designs. It's an embroidery design. And today we're going to make the little zipper pouch. Okay. Excuse me. I've been having a love-hate relationship with that fabric. So So I am going to make my zipper pouch out of a different fabric. And I chose Wild Honey by Layla Boutique because Vanessa, right, from Layla Boutique, because Layla Boutique, that's why I did that. I went ahead and printed out the project bag fabrics and wrote out based on the picture that was on the cover of the instructions that this fabric that they used is the top bag front. That's the top of the bag on the front. Let me show you a picture of this thing. Let me pull up my preview and show you what I'm talking about here. And you can see what we're going to be doing. Let me go back here to my studio so I can see y'all. I'm going to share my screen. You got to make it your own. I know, Amy, right? I mean, I hate to be using Moda fabric for a Raleigh Blake design, but is what it is. All right. So here is what we're going to be doing. Isn't this precious? So what I did is I just took my little, I printed this page out because it has the cut measurements on it. All right. So we have a top of the bag, we have a zipper, we have a middle of the bag front, we have a bottom of the bag front, we have a backing, and then we have linings. Okay. So I'm going to come down here, and this is the page 7. That's the one I cut or printed. I'm sorry. That's the one I printed. And on this one right here, fabric B, you need to put some SF101 or some JUJU Fuse Easy or something like that on the back. Okay. And I cut all of my stuff. Now, where it says fabric A, fabric B, fabric C. Okay. Just note those. That's where I put. So it's got fabric A, but I went ahead and put A's and B's and all. Just my brain. I don't look over here. I look over here. So I identified what each one of these was. Okay. And then I cut them out. I don't want to hold this up because everything will fall. But I got myself all organized. Y'all need to be proud. Look how organized I am. Fabric A, fabric B, it has SF101 on the back. C, D, they wanted these two to be the same fabric, but this is the bottom of the bag and the top of the bag are going to be the same fabric instead of different. And then this is the back of my bag. And these are my linings. Here's the zipper that came with the kit that I got from Two Chicks Quilting. And here's my batting. All right. And these are all the threads I'm going to use. How about that? I am organized, huh, Crafty Diane? Yeah. I thought y'all would be impressed with that. Now I'm going to be doing something. I'm going to show you guys something that I haven't shown you, gosh, in years, I guess. I did use JUJU's Tear Easy in the hoop. Okay. We're going to be doing a lot of work on the back of the hoop. Okay. It says to use a heavyweight tearaway. So I use the Tear Easy. Now, when you're doing a lot of work on the back of the hoop, not one thing. I mean, even if it's one thing, whatever y'all want to do is fine. OESD, they got a hold of these because they bought Dime, and Dime used to sell these. These are called press and hoop pads. They're wool on one side and they're rubberized on the back. These provide stability. So when you pull the hoop, you put this in here. Okay. And then you can flip your hoop over. And what it does is it fills up that space, keeps everything from flying around. So you don't have fabric flipping up. And then it allows you to do work on the back of the hoop without causing any kind of indentation, movement, where you can mess up your registration lines or the design. Okay. So they make these. I have a link to them below in the description box. They're on sale. They make these. This is a thin one for the magnetic hoops. They also make them thick for standard hoops. So here's a 5x7 and here's the 6x10. I love these things. So see how these are a little bit thicker because of well, this just sits right in there. It just sits right in there. And that will provide you something to, sometimes you have to press and iron, sometimes you have to tape. We're going to do a lot of work on the back of the hoop today. Let me show you these things. Okay. Share my screen. Okay. This is them here. They make the, okay, right here, this wool pressing pads, that's for a hooping station. Don't get those. That's not what you need. Okay. Those don't have the rubber on the back. That's not what you're after. They have hoop and press pads. Here they are for the FOF. Okay. They are a little bit of an investment if you buy the bundle, but there's one for the Bernina, those oval hoops. You can get them individually. There's the Janome. Okay. Here's your baby lock brother, your brother lock, right? So they've got a whole bunch of different ones of them. Then they have them for it says snap. That's the snap hoop monster. Those are the magnetic hoops. So they're thinner. Those other ones are thinner. These are great. They just give you something that's really nice for you to be able to do some work on the back of the hoop. And we're going to be flipping back and forth like crazy today. Okay. So yeah, that's funny. She says, great product. Hurry, everyone. They'll be sold out to power tools with thread, folks, in minutes. You've never seen them? They're wonderful. They're really, really great. Okay, I'm going to bring this down. I always worry about that. And, you know, I see in my classes that I do and whatnot, I see embroiderers all the time with their hoop. Let me get that out of the way. Like this. When they're doing work on the front of the hoop especially, they'll lean it like this. You need to break yourself of that habit. That's a really bad habit because you don't even realize it. You don't sew on the back of the hoop. You use it as the base for when you remove the hoop to work on embroidery. Yes, Connie. She's like, yeah, because you don't sew on the back of the hoop, right? You're actually sewing from the front. You're adding fabric and whatnot on the back to make linings. And when you put the hoop back in, you need that fabric to be in exactly the right place. And you use it by taping, but you also have to press. And I like to press when I'm doing that. That's why these they're not just a little rubber pad. It's a wool mat. And that's so, you'll see, I'm going to be doing this. We're going to do it. You'll see it. Okay. So if I'm going to be working, I've got dog fur. If I'm going to be working on the back of the hoop, I'm going to put that on there and then I'm going to do this. Or you can just set this here and do that on there. Now, when I iron on it, it's not being pressed down. That's really important because you can lose registration. And by registration, what I mean is, let me turn this on. What I mean is a lot of times you'll have like an embroidery design and it's got a black line that goes around the outside of it. This is just an example, but it'll have a black line, like a cartoony black line around the outside, and it might be off. You might have a gap between the black line and the embroidery threads, or the black line might be on top of the embroidery threads and they stick out the other side. That means the design lost registration. That's what that means. That's a registration line. Okay, so don't sew the material under the hoop. Yeah, we're gonna use tape. I'll show everybody. Trish sounds like she's speaking from experience. Don't sew the material under the hoop. Remember to remove it. Put a long tag on it to remind me. Yeah, you want to take that off. That's why you put it on your pressing surface. All right, so let's get going, shall we? I'm ready. Let me grab my coffee again. Okay, I'm going to pull up this design. You wanted to comment today. Thanks for all I do to help us. You love it and you need the help. Well, you're welcome, Kathy. You're very welcome, sweetheart. Very welcome. All right. So, hello. Good morning. It's early. I know, Darla. It's all right, sweetheart. We're going to go to the pocket for memory and the USB. And I want my stitch my sewing room, stitch room, PES. There it is. Okay, let's bring up. Did I not put it on here? Oh, I didn't put it on the USB. That's okay. What do I use for an iron? Day, darling, I'm using my little Cricut Mini. It works fine. I like to use it. It fits in the hoop well. Okay. Let me, well, it shows you how prepared I was, huh? I don't have, let's, where's my deal? Let me open up Embrilliance. Open up Embrilliance. My, there's like a, I don't want to, that show scenes, y'all can't see that. Okay, I'm going to open up Embrilliance. Let me go back and share my screen with you guys so you can see what I am doing. We're going to go to a little infinity screen here for a second, and then we'll jump into Embrilliance. Okay, right there. I'm going to open up, let me go to Finder. Here's my instructions, stitch my sewing room, project bag, drag that on there. It's going to take a second because that's not, yeah, that is what I want. Okay. It's going to take a second because the last time I used it, it sent it over to the 10 needle. Let me go to utility, Wi-Fi to brother baby lock, and I'm going to go bag. I'll just call it bag and tell it okay. Now it's going to think about it. And it may say, I didn't send it. We'll have to see. Let me go back to home. Okay. Ah, see, now it says file sent to machine. This is in Brilliance Essentials, y'all. The sale went off yesterday. Sorry. But, okay. It seems to say file sent to machine all the time on the Luminaire. But when I send it to the 10 needle, it says it didn't send, but it did. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. So Trish emailed me yesterday. Thanks for the information on the digitizer for making your son's logo. Trish, that has so many different shades of blue in it all over the place. That picture you sent me, I was like, you don't want to do that. Okay. Let me go to embroidery and my pocket for memory, and we'll go wireless. And my bag is right there and set. Okay. I need some help when it comes to stitching the scissors. Y'all are going to have to help me choose which color of thread. And I have all my choices here, but I think I'm ready. I also need the instructions for the bag to make sure I don't botch it. So I'm going to be going back and, you know what, maybe I can, yeah, there we go. I can do a screen. I can put up different windows at once. I think so. And read your comments. Okay, that works. All righty. So step number 1 is to hoop some heavy tearaway stabilizer, which I did. And it's going to give us the placement line for the batting. So let's go ahead and put this in. Right now, I'm using a off-color thread. Is fine. It doesn't matter. You won't see it. And tell it embroidery. And we're ready to go. Okay, cool. We're good to go on that. And I have my batting right here. I cut everything to size. So good. Bags are tricky. Mary says, I watched the sew out on Embrilliance and it helps you. Yes, you can do that preview. The name of the pattern, oh, Harriet, it's the Stitch Your Sewing Room from Riley Blake Designs. It has 5 different little projects in it, and this is one of them. It's the same USB that I did with the wall hanging there. Okay, next, place the batting. Make sure I'm not doing this. And it's gonna I'm gonna place the batting and make sure it's right over the top. And what I do, get y'all in here a little bit. Bags are easy. Once you get the hang of them, they are easy. So what I do is I'm gonna lift up this edge and make sure I have the same amount of batting on either side. Okay, that works. And then lift up this side and make sure I have the same amount top and bottom so it's fairly centered. Life is good. And it's going to go ahead and, right, I just want to make sure it says placement stitch. You put the batting, place batting. Okay, and then place the zipper. Okay, so it's going to do some stitch lines. This one's a little bit, when you get used to Kimberbell designs, sometimes it can be a little, you get a little used to stuff being different. Y'all should not be putting your hands in your hoop. Use your purple thing or a chopstick, something that's not metal. It's going to go around twice. Evelyn said, this is fun. You missed the name of the pad I used to iron the designs on. Those are hoop and press pads. In the description box below where it says more ... tap that. It'll open up a whole bunch of stuff. And there's a link to them in there. And that's my link. I'd appreciate it. So let's see. You're lost. What the name of the project I'm working on, please? Yeah, Jules. It's Stitch My Sewing Room by Riley Blake Designs. So what this is doing is I'm going to have to trim out. You're welcome, Kathy. Did my hot tub cub yesterday. MT Quilty, there's another beef. No. They sent a text and said that the truck broke down in New Mexico. Will the pads work on your NQ1700E? Yes. For the NQ7, it depends on which hoops you're using. Yes. Because that 1700, so it works on all Brother machines because all of the hoops for all Brother machines and all of the hoops for all Baby Lock machines fit all the machines, so long as the hoop is not larger than the largest design the machine can take, right? Okay, so here's what it did. It's stitched out. We've got a couple of lines here. So it's stitched out. Here's the bottom of the bag. And then we've got the top of the bag up here. This needs to be trimmed out. This is where the zipper is going to go. So it's time to trim. When you're working with your hoop out of the machine, I like to use a firm flat surface. This is the Quilter's Cut and Press. I have these in my Amazon store. You go to amazon.com/shop/power-tools with thread. Or I have a link to it below in the description box. In the section around my sewing room is where you can find the first link is members only videos. And the second link is my Amazon shop. So I'm trimming this out. Okay. Where's my trash can? Handy. Got to have a trash can right next to every workstation. That way I don't have trash everywhere. All right. Now I got to get in here and get this out. These are fun, but they're they throw your brain into a loop because you're working on the back of the hoop, and until you get the hang of these things, you kind of got to figure it out. You're also going to need a good roll of tape. And while you can get the tape cheap on Amazon, I highly recommend you invest in a Kimberbell tape dispenser because it's wide enough to handle all of these. Okay. You're going to say goodbye, everyone? Oh, bye, Margaret. Okay. Have a good day, sweetie. Okay, you found the design to purchase. Great. Awesome. Okay. Let me get this up here, y'all, so I can see what I'm doing. I do not want to jack this up on camera. I don't mind jacking it up off camera. That's different. All right, now I have to put the zipper in. One each zipper, okay? So you need to put it, orient your hoop exactly like they have so that the arm is over here on my left. And you want to take the zipper pull part and you put it to the top and you put it outside of the design. Okay, so there's the gap. And then it has a stitch line. Put it outside with the little deal out here. And the end of it is also outside of the design. Okay. All right. You're going to tape it. You're going to put a piece of tape. Tape that down. The zipper is closed. This is the top of the zipper. The zipper pull is right there. It's not face down. They use the RST for right sides together. It should say face down in some of these because you like right sides together is multiple pieces of fabric, not whatever. It's fine. Okay. Tape is your friend when you're making bags, y'all. You have to put the tape. Okay, so now that zipper is secure. All right. Here we go. We're going to put it back into the machine. All right. The bottom zipper stop needs to be below the stitching, tape to secure. Okay, next. Back of hoop. Carefully cut to remove stabilizer from behind the zipper only. All right, so now we're going to be working on the back of the hoop. So I'm going to put this down here. All right, and I'm going to lay this on it. All right, now this is so you can get to the zipper. So what I normally do is I'll just cut a little bit first. Get it started, okay? You should be able to just run your scissors right along. Don't cut the stitching, but I'm right on the inside. And don't go through it, okay? If you cut the stitching, it's not the end of the world, but try not to do that. That's why I say to just kind of run your scissor if you can. I know it's tear away, but I want it nice and clean. Okay. Oh, I hear you. All right. Stupid nanny state iron wants to turn off after a couple minutes. All righty. So that's nice and clean. And now the zipper is going to work fine because it doesn't have paper all over it in it. See? There we go. That looks good. All right. Flip the hoop to the front. I got stuff. So you're only doing the paper that's behind the zipper. Okay. There we go. Now, place fabric. It says RST aligning the edge of, okay, it has an A in the instructions. So it's talking about fabric A, which is the top of the bag on the front. This fabric is directional. Okay, this is exactly how it's going to look. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I was so excited to make this today. Place fabric, RST, aligning the edge of the fabric with the right edge of the zipper. Tape as shown. The fabric will be covering the zipper. So what you do is you take this fabric. This is how it's going to look. I'm going to put it right side down, and it talks about the right side of the zipper, and that's the zipper edge, the edge of the zipper on the little tape, the zipper tape. And the edges of the fabric are hanging off. That's all right. And we're going to tape it. Okay. Put that on there just like that. Okay. That looks good. I did that. Now, the fabric will be covering the zipper. That's exactly what we have. It says flip top fabric to the right and tape to secure. It skipped a step. There's a stitch that has to happen, I think. No. Oh, tape is shown. Let's see. What does it want me to do? Place fabric RST, aligning the edge of the fabric with the right side of the zipper. Tape as shown. There is a stitch there. It's right next to, it's in green. It says stitch and flip. The way these instructions are written, y'all, I can see why y'all wanted me to do this. What, Betty Boop? Is there a piece on the back of this as well? Eventually, yes. Yeah. Okay. We're doing the front of the bag right now. All right. I'm going to put this in here. Let's see. Okay. We're going to see what it's going to do. It's making a 1/4 inch jump. All right. Now it's sewing the fabric. What? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Carefully. What am I doing wrong, y'all? All right. No, Evelyn, it's not just you. It should have just this stitch, this single stitch right here. And then I should flip it back. It's so weird. Y'all help me out. Let me share my screen. Here's where I'm at. Okay. Here's where we are. We cut out the stabilizer, flip the hoop to the front. Right here, stitch and flip. And it's a single line stitch right there. Place fabric right side down, aligning the edge of the fabric with the right edge of the zipper, and tape is shown. I did that. The fabric will be covering the zipper. Okay. Flip top fabric to the right and tape to secure. But that didn't do that. Where is this stitch? Because it just sewed the fabric over the top of the zipper. Those of you who know what I'm doing. Cutie's mama, did you have trouble with this? She says back up. Charlene says back up. All right, we'll try that. Let's back up. Should have seen the zipper, sewn the zipper before I cut. It doesn't tell you to do that, Lisa. I'm going to cut this. I can see on the preview exactly what it's doing, and it's not right. Lay both fabrics down in place before no, so simple. All right. So if you need to get rid of embroidery stitching, y'all, you can just lift up the fabric and trim. It's stitching right on the zipper where it's supposed to. You can just do this between them. You don't have to use a seam ripper. This is so strange. See, it should have done, hold on, let me get this. I should have done this. And you know what? It makes you feel kind of silly because at the top of the document, it says, these designs have been tested and stitched by the best in the world, you know. What it should have done, let me see if I can do this without cutting my pretty fabric. I'll cut the zipper before I cut my pretty fabric. Okay, and I'm going to come up here. That is so weird. Why would I cover? See, what it should have done is like this. Okay, so that the top of the zipper is exposed like that. That's what it should. Right? I don't know. I showed you guys the instructions. No, there are not updated instructions. If there's no stitch, go to, oh my gosh. But it wanted to, it started here and then it went down here and then it went over here and like this. Why would you cover the front of the zipper? I don't know, Mo, about that. So I don't understand that at all. I do not understand that because this is the top of the bag. I've made bags before, you guys, and I've never seen this. No, you don't put both pieces. I don't think so. Y'all, it didn't say to do that. All right, y'all. It did not say to do that. See this here? Okay. We've got the zipper pull and it's taped. On the back of the hoop, cut away the stabilizer. We did that. Flip the hoop to the front. Stitch and flip. Let me go back one. No, the back one is the batting tack down. Then the next one. Okay. Place fabric right side down, aligning the edge of the fabric with the right edge of the zipper. Tape is shown. The fabric will be covering the zipper. Okay. It looks like this is a stitch and flip, but that stitch is not there. Should have sewn the, yeah, I see. Step 3. Lisa, I'm telling you, do you see a step 3? Where did I miss that? Oh, I see what you're saying. Step 3, I got it. I see what she's saying. I got it. All right. I see what she's saying. They don't say it in the written instructions, but the picture is there. I got it. I know what she's saying. Okay, so what she's saying, what Betty Boop is telling me, let me take this off completely. There was a sewing flip. Okay, let me take this off completely. I'm glad I messed this up so you guys don't have to, that are doing it. I'm going to take this off. After you, hold on a minute. Okay. Here's what happened. I skipped stitch step 3, the stitching step 3. The stitching step 3 was to sew the zipper onto the stabilizer. That I did not do. It's a tack down stitch. I'll show you guys where I messed up. Okay, right here. This is, it says tack down stitch. This is the stitch that stitches the zipper to the stabilizer after you tape it, okay? And then you cut the fabric, then you cut it from the back. I'm going to do this again. This is not, yeah, the zipper is not sewn to the stabilizer at all. It's just on. Tape another piece of stabilizer over the cutout, stitch. Yeah, Betty Boop's got the right of it there. I'm going to show you guys. Hold on. What did I do with that tearaway stabilizer? Here we go. Operator error. You now have no stabilizer behind the zipper. Yep. I think that's the problem, is you get so used to the way other designers make their stuff. It's kind of an industry standard thing, you know? I can't see. I'm doing what Betty Boop suggests. I got it. I know what she's about now. Let me take this tape off. Okay. I skipped the tack down step on the zipper. You know, you do get used to, like I said, I've made dozens of bags, y'all. Not showing Riley Blake in the best light. I know that. But hey, if you have this, now you know. I always say embroidery, you can recover just about anything with it. So I'm going to take this out. And you know, I don't want to get rid of this because I don't have a whole lot of this fabric. There was only one piece of it in that little mini layer cake. So I don't want to mess this up. There we go. Like I said, I messed up so you don't have to. Okay. Where's my pad? Put this down. Put this on top of it. I need a piece of stabilizer, another piece. If I wasn't sitting here in front of the camera, I would do this at my table and make it nice and neat. Okay, that's that JUJU Easy Tear. Tear Easy. All right, this goes here. Just like that. Okay. Save. Thumbs up, y'all. All righty. I'm laughing at you guys. You're like, yay, take one for the team, Becky. All right, we're going to stitch this now. Okay. Now we're going to stitch. What's wrong? Now we're going to stitch this to the stabilizer. So the tip is read instructions carefully. I did. The problem was, see, Margie's part of the team. Ah, look what happened. Son of a biscuit. Y'all. We've got a hot mess here. Ah, holy moly. I am sewn into my zipper. Y'all. Look what happened. Oh, hold on. This is a disaster. I don't think I've ever. We're not giving a thumbs up because I'm jacking this up beyond all recognition. All right. I am sewn into my embroidery foot, which, have I done that before? Of course I have. It's very easy to do. And I'm going to trim it from underneath. Okay. Let me get all of that. That did not work. I should have started completely over. I'm raising my needle to the highest point. Pull that. Okay. Starting over, y'all. Woo, that was a good one. Look at that. What a disaster. I've got tape. Okay, taping stuff on the back to start over was not the way to go. What a hot mess. Woo! Time to start over. Yep, been there, done that. That's right. It's okay. What I did wrong was I let my brain think different instructions. My brain said this is the next step, and that's not what it was. That was not it at all. I need to hoop a new piece of stabilizer. You love my disposition? That's a nice way. Y'all, now I can tell you why I was on a tear with brother this morning. So I used to have a debit card on my account at brother to redo their ink, the refresh program for the ink. Okay. And I got rid of my debit card and I got a credit card. Sorry. I got a credit card. Okay. And where's my rotary cutter? So I've been getting notices from them that say, hey, your credit card, your card on file doesn't work anymore. I'm like, all right, I know that because I got a new one. So I try to log in to update my card, and I have been unable to log into their stupid app for weeks now. Okay. And so now if I go to log in, my password's wrong. Okay. Send me a link for a new password. I do that and the email never arrives. If I do manage to get in, then it says it wants me to register my printer. And I've already registered my printer, but it forces me to go through printer registration steps again that I don't need to do. It won't simply allow me to get into my account and update the card on file. No, I have to go through the whole process of registering the printer again. And then it says, you can't do that. This printer is already registered. I've been doinking around with that drama forever. Let me go home. Okay. We have issues here with the thread. And this morning, let me thread my needle. I don't even know what button I need to push. And then this morning, I need a new piece of batting. This is why I pre-cut batting. I know it's not threaded correctly. I've got issues. So, y'all, I'm going to keep stitching. Our hour is up. And if you are a glutton for punishment and want to stay here and watch me, you can. But I've had enough of this. So anyway, if you have to go, I appreciate that. Y'all go sew something and enjoy your day. Amy says this would make her use maintainer language. So this morning, I got an email from brother that says, now my thing. Okay. And now I have a captive audience. I got to show y'all this email I got from brother. Let me pull it up. You want to talk about PO'd. Let me see. Where is it at? I have it. Maybe I got it yesterday. Where is it? No, I saw it. Here it is, right here. Let me show you my email from brother. Y'all won't believe it. It says, account suspended, card declined. Hi, Becky. The card we have on file for your refresh subscription was declined without a valid payment method. Your account is now suspended. Here's what pisses me off. Your refresh cartridges will not work and your printer will be inoperable until you provide a valid card to reinstate your refresh account. That made me see red. And then it says, or you insert non-refresh cartridges. So you have 10 days, okay? They hijacked my printer. Oh, I was pissed. I was pissed. I'm like, I went to Amazon. I bought aftermarket cartridges and I'm like, the heck with you. Girl, Milligan says, what? I bet your hair was on fire. It's not a scam. And I don't want to call them. I don't want to call them. Their app should work. I have tried repeatedly for the last week, longer than that. When I first got the notification, their little send you cartridges is fine. It's their app that won't work. And then, oh, y'all, I was so mad. Says, is this why we felt the shift in the force? You can see smoke. What do you mean my printer is inop? Yes. Let's start all over, shall we? I'm going to go back to the beginning of this thing. Oh my gosh, y'all, I was so mad. My husband comes in. What's wrong? I said, brother has hijacked my printer. It doesn't work. I was so mad. My husband's like, you shouldn't get so upset. Can I bypass the app? You cannot. No. I'll tell y'all what. I was madder than a wet cat. Oh, I was pissed off. I don't want to call them. They call us 1-800 blah, blah, blah. I'm like, y'all, I don't want to call you, okay? I don't want to call you. I don't want to deal with you. I get into it. It doesn't even allow me just to go to my account once I get into it. Because sometimes the password is cached and I can get into it depending on the device, right? So the password's cached and that's fine. Now I can get into it. And then it forces me to register my printer. It won't allow me just to go to my account information and update my payment card. It doesn't have that option. You want to call them for me? I tell you what, I was so mad. I'm like, that's fine. I'll just go to Amazon. I'll buy aftermarket ink. I read up their number is right on the app, on the screen. It says call. Thank you, Vicki. Vicki made me a margarita. You're so sweet. A little early, but I was pissed. I was complaining about that to Bonnie last weekend because I was trying to update it last weekend. I don't like Epson printers, Deb. I'm sorry. Yeah. Deep breath. I don't want that. No. Nancy says, take a deep breath and just call them and they'll fix it. I don't want to fix it. I want it to work. $5. Everybody says $5 somewhere. Strudel and cheese. Now, you can't be doing that because you don't want to eat away your frustrations. Mimosas are good. I love a mimosa. So there's a lot of frustration And believe me, Brother Printer has nothing to do with Brother Sewing. Two different pieces of the company. So yeah, I read a lot of good stuff about the aftermarkets. So I'm like, that's fine. And then I got on subscription with that for Amazon. And I said, okay, I'll just do that. I won't use Brother Refresh. I don't need it. I don't need you, Big Brother, eyeballing all the stuff that I print, you know. Man. You know, if they were to say, okay, we're just not going to send you any more cartridges, that's one thing. I can understand that. But to tell me that now my printer won't work. So the ink that I have in my printer, which is fine, now I can't use my printer. That's bad business. I paid for that printer. Now I know what I'm doing. Look at me. Just winging right through this thing. Oh, man. I skipped a stitch step. That's what I did. Skipped a stitch step. Tape that down. Look how quick it goes when you know what's going on. Isn't that amazing? It's like putting up ceiling fans. The first one takes forever, and the second one, you're right on it. All right, we are at stitch number 3. Pop this back in. Sew my zipper to my stabilizer on the back. There we go. Very good. Sew that zipper down. I'm using a 9014 needle, y'all, so it goes right over the teeth. I know Susan says I need to call Brother, tell him I'm not renewing my card till they fix their stupid app. Okay. Now, I'm going to give this, is this still hot? Yeah. A quick press here. It got a little fuzzy on the edge. That's one thing I don't like about doing projects with limited fabric, because if you make a boo-boo, sometimes it's hard to get it back. Okay. How about that? Doubles as an ironing mat. Thank you for letting me vent. I needed that. I feel much better now. I really do. All right. This has little threads that need to come off so they don't get caught in the needle. We don't need any of that drama. All right. And now I'm going to put it down with the edge. Oh. What do I do with my little mat? I got to cut out this. Let's see. I'm just going to score it and see if that doesn't work. Easy. That might work a little bit easier here. Okay. That was simple. A little dirty, but okay. I'm telling y'all. That just, I don't understand. To tell me that the printer that I paid for and the ink I paid for, I can't use it anymore. Yeah, bad business. So a lady wrote me an email yesterday and wanted some help. And part of her email was about dealing with Brother and their account issues with Canvas and registering her machine and her Scan-A-Cut. I get you. I get it. Okay, that's done. Don't skip that step, right? Okay, this goes here. Just like this. And then tape it down. And it says to tape it with 2 little pieces. You don't need the whole strip. Okay. We are back in business. Okay. And now here's that straight stitch to stitch that down. Oh, oh, reviews on Reddit. No happy campers there. Yep. It's doing a double stitch or triple stitch to secure that down. Ah. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm back in business. Okay. I've got that taped the way it's supposed to be. And then I need to now flip the top fabric to the right and tape to secure. Okay. So I'm going to pull this tape up to get it out of the project. I don't want a lot of tape in the project. You're going to go through some tape on these. Okay. Flip this back and give it a good finger press. You can put some heat on these zipper teeth. They can handle it. Don't worry about that. The nylon, it can handle it. Don't hold it on there, but okay. It says tape to secure. I'm going to tape it here. I'm using a 6x10 hoop because it's a 6x10 design. And if I tape to secure it, I'm going to end up putting tape up on my edge, my thing here. All right. There we go. Bye, Connie. See you later. Okay. All right. So that is taped. And now it's going to, I need to take the middle of the bag, fabric C, which is my blue, okay? And I need to tape it so that, oh, I need a tack down. Not yet. I need a tack down stitch. It's going to do this. Okay. It's really easy to skip a step on these instructions. Each place, let me see here. Let me remove that. Each place that there is a circle, that is a stitching step. Okay, so that's what we just did right here was the tack down. Okay, that's good. Now, I'm down here on, we have a stitch and flip. So I need to place the fabric right side down, aligning the edge of the fabric with the left edge of the zipper tape as shown. The fabric will be covering the zipper. Okay. Got it. With the left edge as shown. Okay, now this is directional. This is the way I want it to look. So I'm going to place it down on there, just like that. All righty. I'm going to tape it so it doesn't go anywhere. I don't want any kind of drama. All righty. This is the way. Y'all come here just to laugh at my life. I know it. Let's see what Becky's up to today. What's she going to screw up today? Coffee. It's not a hard design. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Deb said, the way those instructions are visually laid out would be confusing for me to follow. Easy to misinterpret or misstep. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Trish says, you got this. I know. I got this. It's fine. Just keep going. No shame in starting again. Okay, so now I'm going to remove my little tape pieces here on this. I'm going to bring it down. Oh, look how pretty that is. Look how pretty. The fabric is not, I noticed it when it stitched the zipper. It didn't stitch the zipper exactly like I would have preferred it to. So it looks like I've got less zipper here on this side than this side, and there's nothing for it. It is what it is. I'm not going to allow that little thing to bother me. And now it's going to tack that down. Okay. Very easy to skip step 3, y'all. Very easy. Yeah, I put the zipper exactly in the lines like it showed. And when it stitched on the back, it stitched off. Crystal, you're a sweetheart for the super sticker. She's like, dude, let me throw some money at you because I feel bad for you. Thank you, darling. But now you know how, right? Okay, here's our tack down for the middle of the bag. You've had it happen too, where the fabric's showing more on one side. It's so weird. I know. You'd have thrown it across the room by now, Sue. Now that's not good. You know, you might ruin something. Your patience is headed. Maureen, you're still confused? Maureen's a good blogger. Okay. No, it doesn't stitch a flap over the zipper. Okay. Let's see what's next. Let's see what is next. Okay, so we've stitched down the middle. Now I need to trim the left edge only, which is this right here. Okay. Right? Yes. I'm going to get my tape up. When it says trim the left edge only, you need to be sure to orient the hoop the way it is in the picture. Otherwise, the left edge, if I have it like this, the left edge is over here. That doesn't make any sense. You got to put the hoop the way they show you in the picture. So the left edge is this piece right here. That little bottom strip. See, it would be helpful if the directions said, trim the edge of the bottom of the bag, right? Yeah. I know. Lita says that fabric is beautiful. You know, I love it. Okay. What's next, y'all? I'm just going to look here. Place the fabric. I'll take you with me so you can see. Okay. It says stitch, trim the left edge, stitch and flip. Okay. So now I need to take the bottom of the bag, and I'm going back to my paper that showed which fabric was the bottom of the bag. But I changed that because I want the bottom of the bag to be the same as the top. Place the fabric right sides down, aligning the edge with the placement line as shown with the excess fabric toward the right of the hoop. Okay. So where it got confusing, Maureen, was to stitch the fabric D. Stitch the zipper to, step 3 was to stitch the zipper to the stabilizer. Okay. So this is the way I want it to look, just like this. Okay. So pretty. Oh, I can't stand it, y'all. Are these right side up or upside down? I don't know that it matters. They go like this. It does. To me, it matters. Okay. Just like that. It's going to fold down like this. just like this. It'll fold down. My fabric's directional. I'm just kind of looking at it. I got leaves going every which way. I got these up, this is up. It's fine. Okay. So it's going to tack that down. I'm going to put tape. Okay. The design is from Riley Blake Designs, Stitch Your Sewing Room. The fabric is called Wild Honey by Layla Boutique. Your HP was hijacked too. Are they all doing that now? Every digitizer is different with this. Sonia says, I got that. Okay. All right. Now I need to pull this out. It doesn't take very long once you do it right. It's amazing. Okay. Pull my tape off. Oh, isn't that pretty? Look how pretty that is. I'm going to put this down here. It doesn't have any kind of background quilting on it. We are going to stitch pretty designs in the middle, but no kind of background quilting. Okay. Okay, here's my tack down line for this bottom of the bag. All righty, let's see what's coming up next. Okay, now we're going to do a placement stitch for the decorative designs, and that's okay. I haven't had to change my thread color at all. Let's see. Okay. The decorative designs, I'm using a white that is also from Layla Boutique. You will find, especially with moda designers, that they will use the same whites over and over. Corey Yoder does that all the time. But the white goes with their other fabrics. So they kind of always do and work in the same palette. Hi, Kelly from Laser Bee Studio. I have been I've been telling people all about your stuff. Yeah. I like to use your I especially like to use, okay, so I do multiple projects at one time. And I love this. So these trays right here, y'all, these are from Laser Bee Studio. Kelly and her husband do this. Clear as mud, June says. So they make these trays, and like these are numbered. Okay, now you can't see the numbers on my threads at all. It's 1 through 6 here and 7 through 12. And then in the top, it's got where you can write with a wipe off marker, a dry erase. And so I have Stitch Your Sewing Room written in there. So these were the threads that were used in the wall hanging. I have another one that is over on my 10 needle that I've used to put all of the threads for my Kimberbell projects. So the trays are great. You got 2 trays. You really only need 2 or 3, depending on how many projects you're doing at once. Okay. So let me see. But yeah, I show people these all the times, and I get people email me and they say, where'd you get that? I don't see a link. And I tell them where to get them, but I only link to companies that I work with below my video. Okay, let's do this. Okay, here we go. So I have placement lines for these cute little, and I'm just going to put this over the top of it. Okay. There we go. So Laser Bee Studio trays are great. If you take the organization, test by Cass from Clutterbug, if you are a Cricut, Laser Bee Studios is your friend. You will love that. And they create trays that go in your drawers. Okay. And it'll do every little one of them. Let me make sure I'm on track here with my instructions. Tack down stitch. Yes. Okay. So shoot me an email, powertoolswiththread@outlook.com. Let's chat. Okay. I need to change out my thread color. I need a lighter thread color. Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. And okay. I cut the wrong end. That's all right. Let me get this. All right. Pull this through here. Hard to see. Hard to see. This is how I do this, you guys. I make a big long tail. I put the two ends together. I tie them, twist them once or twice, make a big loop, put the tails behind it, pull the tails through the loop, and then pull it through the machine. And not get it all hung up on the bobbin maker thing. There. Okay. Now I can tack these down. There we go. Can you double the thumbs up? I don't think so, Mary. What are you guys doing? Linda says, primo stuff, best entertainment in the industry. Well, thank you, Linda, because I know you watch a lot of these. I see you on a lot of these live streams. I'll take that. Yeah. You're organizing your desk. I need better organization on my desk. Right now, it's kind of a hot mess. I'm a person who likes everything containerized. I'm not necessarily, this is the difference between a bee and a Cricut. So a bee likes big categories small categories that you can see, okay? Visual organization and organized. A lot like a quilt store, okay? So I can see everything, but it's all containerized. And that's why these are good for me, okay? Everything's on a container. This tray from Laser Bee Studios is a container. And it's great. So everything is here, but I can see everything. Cricuts like things individual compartmentalized inside of something, organization you can't see. So like they have trays that fit in those drawers. I got to trim all this out. So you've taken that test 3 times and you always forget what you are. Quilt wench. I always come up as a bee, no matter what. I've taken it several times too. I always come up as a bee, which is good because my husband is a butterfly. And because he was in the military too, he understands the idea of containerizing things. Everything has to be in a container. But I use clear containers for him. So even inside of like our clothing drawers or where we keep our clothes, all of his underwear is in a clear container. I take the container to the dryer, and as skivvies come out of the dryer, they go in the container. And that just works. and it works for him. He can see it. I have clear containers on the countertops for his keys and all his stuff. We containerize everything when we travel in the RV because stuff flies around. I do not containerize the inside of my fridge. I found that to be frivolous and stupid, so I don't do that. But everything else, the fridge is the container. That's good enough for me, plus the little drawers inside of it. But in my sewing room, everything's in a container. Thank you, Laura, for your super sticker. That's sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate your generosity. That's very nice. All right, so now I can do my little things. The first one is the spool of thread, and it wants me to do the little caps for them. So here's what my spool is going to be. This glide is called Crush, and it looks a little dusty, but it actually matches the pink in here very well. Okay, and then I'm going to use this as not only the pin cushion tomato, but also the detail stitching on the outside of this Crush. Okay, and the caps are this blue. So this is how this is all going to work on my pretty fabric. So pretty. We've got a lot of stitching to do right now. Okay. A lot of stitching going on. Your daughter-in-law sent the kids' clothes, everything in a bag with all they need for the day. Don't you love that? Yeah. So like this is, while that's stitching, I'll show you guys how I organize here at my my embroidery machine, because it's really easy for stuff to just be everywhere, right? Really easy. Pull that through. Hi, handsome. I'm still online. I'm stitching away. I had to start over. It's okay. You can let him in. Yeah, it's fine. Huh? Oh, okay. See you later. All right. So thank you. You guys love my colors. Thank you. Okay, so here's what I have over here. This little table I have over here. This is a Alex drawers from IKEA. The top of it has a pad on it that I can use as a pressing station if I want. I'd love to put it on some kind of rollers so I can move it around. But I have everything containerized. So here's, to me, the mat acts as like a placeholder for all of my stuff. But at each one of my workstations, there is a tray of some sort with all of my goodies in it. Okay. That way, everything stays where it should. All right. I have my press thing here, and I usually keep my tape right there. Okay. Everything has to be in a container. You're going to stick with me, June? Cool. Over here where I keep my rotary cutters. That's cute. Okay. So everything, I have scissors, rotary cutters, a point turner, and some pencils. Okay. Washi tape. All in a container. Everything has to be in a container. Always. Am I going to show my Laura coat in a Stitchuation room? I am not, Vicki. No. No. Alrighty, it wants to stitch the tomato, and that is this color. It is called I almost said Pinot, 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 P-I-N-O-T, Pinot, like Pinot Noir, the wine. Yeah, containerizing your life is the first step in organization. And I don't mean buy a whole bunch of containers, okay? It means dedicated containers for the things that you, oh, he's taking his motorcycle. Good for him. It's a beautiful day. I can hear it rumbling out there. He was all upset the other day. He went to get on the bike and go somewhere, and it wouldn't start. I was like, don't you have it on a trickle charger? He said, no, he does now. So he's happy. All right, let me get this. This is not cool. Let me do that. Okay, so it's going to stitch the little pin cushion. So Evelyn says, my under machine mat looks familiar. I got this at the sewing studio in Maitland, Florida. I'll move my stuff so you can see. The sewing studio, that's where I got that. I always do put my scissors back in the tray except for these when I'm working. That's my rule, that they're right here. Okay, they don't go anywhere else. So Simple says, I'll have a glass of that Pinot. That looks good. Hi, Frito. You're going to lay down over there by the, hi, baby. All right, the girls are in. Here we go. There they are. Frito's going to assume the position. That's her normal spot. Daddy will be back in a little while, girls. You're a butterfly until you don't remember again. So butterflies, kids are like butterflies. You know how they'll use, like if you have a PlayStation area for them, like a play area, a basket just for Legos, a basket, it doesn't matter what color Legos, you don't want those sorted individually, big Legos, little Legos, that's even too much. It's just a big thing of Legos or Duplos or whatever. A basket for dolls, a basket for trucks, a basket, you know, for whatever. So, and they have to be clear so that they can see inside of them. So big categories that are visual, that you can see. So you don't have to open a drawer to see what goes in there. Label makers are great for butterflies. So it says you're a bee, patches and petals. Okay, so you're like me, you're a bee. Bees like open storage in categories, okay? So see how I don't have a door over all my patterns. These are big categories. Those are my Kimberbell CDs right there. And then open categories, stuff is, you can see it. Here's all my On Wander Lane. Here are quilting patterns with applique, then taller quilting patterns, quilting books, okay? These are all Kimberbell. These are all either OESD or maybe purely Gates CDs. So everything is in a category like that. You're a bee and Bart is a butterfly. Yeah, Keith is a butterfly. So Trish, you and I have the same situation, all right? And you're never going to get a butterfly to put things into individual categories, okay? They're only going to put them in big categories. And so usually it's the bee that has to bend a little bit, all right? All righty, that's cute. What's next? I'm going to put the little stitches on the outside of the tomato. Okay, question. On the stitches on the outside of the tomato, I think in regular tomatoes, they use a green, right? Not a white. Where do you go to take the test? In Google, just type in test from CAS, C-A-S, from Clutterbug, and it'll come up. And it'll give you your organ. I don't think the green's going to show up well. I'm going to do it in white. Okay. This thread I'm using, these bigger spools, y'all, this is old thread from Sweet Pea. They don't sell it anymore. So I'm just using it up, okay? It plays well with my machines. So I'm just going to use the white to make the little outlines on the tomato. But when you figure out what kind of clutter bug you are, that makes it really, really easy for you then to begin to organize your stuff. I'm not saying you don't need to declutter. You do. You see me do it occasionally. You do need to declutter. Oh, and both of those little cubbies over on the other side are still empty. How about that? So would I consider doing Snapplique for Lori Holt Strawberry Crush Quilt Block? No, Judy, I'm sorry. I don't have the bandwidth to be able to start another project. Your husband is a pile creator. Yeah. So my husband is a throw stuff everywhere creator. And, oh, I'm glad I chose white, because white is also the outsides. We're going to be here for 9 minutes. Okay. Yeah, my husband is a throw stuff everywhere creator. So I got large, Walmart has really large clear bins. That's where I bought these. Let me show you. Your husband's a mess maker extraordinaire. Yeah. See all my fabric up there? It's all in clear bins. Okay. My fat quarters are in a thing that was not cheap. It's from Uline. Okay. And it's really relatively, you can get these things at like Harbor Freight, but they only have the yellow, blue, and red boxes for them. I wanted mine to be clear. That was the expensive part. Clear is the expensive part. But all of my fabric is in clear bins. You can get those bins at walmart.com. Okay. My husband saves everything too. My husband saves stuff just in case. And I get that. And it's everywhere. His garage, I can't. Okay. The test didn't work for you. A lot of the answers didn't apply. Okay. Yeah, Day Darling, I'm the same way. She says, I don't even know how he functions in there. I get too anxious. Me too. I instantly want to go in there and just start throwing away Dana K. White's method of decluttering. Just start throwing away the easy stuff. That is trash. In his case, is trash, because there's old Home Depot bags and receipts from years ago. And I just want to go in there with a bag and just start picking up trash. It makes him nuts. He's like, don't touch it. And I have to respect that. I don't know how big that exploding heart is, Crystal. I want to say it's 4x4. I think it's a 4 foot, not a 3 foot, I think. So you like things nice and neat behind closed doors. So you're more likely a cricket. If it's a messy drawer and you don't want to see it, then you don't care how things look inside the drawer. You just close it up, or maybe in your cabinets, you just close it up and hide that up. Then you're a ladybug, which is common for most women. This is looking beautiful. Total operator error, y'all. Total operator error. Okay. Yeah. Mary says, when you work in a hospital, you learn everything needs to be in its place. No time to look. Same with the military. Same thing. Do I use regular thread in my bobbin or embroidery thread? Cuties Mama, I use pre-wound bobbins from OESD. Pre-wounds, embroidery. It's 70 weight. It's a really light thread. Peggy, I have the clear containers behind closed doors in our bathroom. We have a bunch of doors, medicine closet, like a medicine cabinet, but it's big. And so those doors are closed, but when you open it up, there are clear containers in each one, and they're labeled so I can find what I'm looking for. I can't stand stuff being in a hot mess. It makes me crazy. You like to open a cabinet and see it all organized. I do too. I'm a cross between a bee and a cricket. I am. I'm a cross between a bee and a cricket. So like my dominant is bee with everything out to be seen, especially in my sewing room. But in my bathroom, I'm a cricket. The doors are closed, but everything is organized in little trays in there. So I love this, and I wish I could do this. MT Quilty says, I have clear glass doors on our kitchen for everyday dishes. I love that look. I love that look. Yeah, Lynn's a ladybug. Trish says, I like that for a bathroom too. Do I do it? No. This is turning out beautiful. So Erin, this is a real common thing. Okay, she says, I know I put it somewhere. Now, where did I put it? So that can be solved using Dana K. White's method of where would I look for it first? So you have a thing, right? Like that Laura jacket pattern. I was just thinking about that this morning, that Laura jacket pattern. And I thought, where did I put that? Because I put it somewhere and I thought, well, where would I look for it first? When I went to put it away the first time that I don't remember, where would I look for it first? So it would either be here on my shelf with patterns, or it would be with the fabric that I'm going to use to make the jacket. So that could be it. Oh, you want to do a giveaway for my watchers? That would be great. I love that. Laser Bee wants to do a giveaway for our, that's wonderful. Okay. Yeah, never put anything where it would be safe. Margie, you and I are, oh, you're a bee with cricket tendencies. Yeah, you and I are the same. So, you know, if I lived by myself, I would probably be more of a cricket, I imagine. If I lived by myself, I would. But in my cabinets, everything has a place, everything in its place. In the kitchen, in my cabinets, everything's in the same spot all the time. Yeah. Carol says she's going to take the test again. You got to go. So simple. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I see you tomorrow. Okay. Now, here's my bee tendencies coming in instead of the cricket. My thread, my glide thread, it's in a large clear tray by name of the color versus individual numbers. One of the things I don't like about individual numbers on those trays is the manufacturers of the thread will throw another number in the middle of a sequence somewhere. And now what do you do, right? You got to stuff it in there upside down, or kind of like what I did with those. So Nancy, we're just talking about, Bonnie, you're a butterfly. Oh, yes, ma'am, you are. You sure are. I know you personally. Yes, ma'am, you're a butterfly. So when you figure out that you're a butterfly, then you use organizational systems that work for butterflies. You use hooks, okay, instead of hangers. You're not going to put something on a hanger, but you'll put something on a hook, right? So you use hooks. The test, Jaja Brownie, just Google test cast from Clutterbug or Clutterbug test. It'll come right up. So that's nice. Diana says she loves her trays from Laserbee for the Alex drawer cabinet. You have 3 sets and it keeps everything so nice. That's great. See, and I don't want my threads in a cabinet. Yeah, no, it's all right. I read typos. Jaja says, sorry for the typo. It's all right. I read typos. But yeah, I don't want my threads in a cabinet. I like the rainbow or the confetti. I like the confetti that I have over here in my clear trays on my dream box. Do they have a slob category? Yes, they do, Jude. Jude, yes, it's called a butterfly. It does. Yeah, that the slob category is the butterfly. Sure is. And I'm not saying that ugly. That means you just put stuff, but you can find it, maybe. Okay. But you just need to use organizational systems. So then after you get the test and it tells you what kind of clutter bug you are, then you can go, Laserby, I'm at powertoolswiththread@outlook.com. Okay. Now it's time for my thread. So they're having green thread and green top on the tomato. I'm going to have to watch it because I'm going to change the thread color. Quilt Wench, you're not a slob. No, you're not. No, you're not. Are you a slob? A butterfly? Okay. So my thread is going to be that blush color. What did I call it? Crush. Okay. And then I'm going to stop it and I'm going to put on the aloe color for the top of the tomato because it's all one color stop in this design. I'm going to watch it and change it. You can do that. Y'all feel free to do that. You just got to pay attention. Okay. So I'm going to take off the Pinot. We're out of the wine, ladies. I will put this. This is going to be the detail stitching on my thread spool. I'm going to use this crush, that pink crush for my thread. Y'all, it took me a good half an hour last night to pick my thread colors for all of these designs. A good half hour. Rah. Okay. 9:45 is a good time for Keith to go to the doctor because oh, it's stitching that first. Dang it. Dottie's down for her mid-morning nap, and that's good. Okay, let me cut that. Cut. I thought it was going to stitch the thread spool first. It's stitched. So I'm just going to stitch right over the top of what it just stitched. It doesn't matter. You won't see it. So if you find yourself doing this and your thread color's wrong, no big deal. Lucille. I'm going to needle plus minus, and I'm going to go to the top of the stitch count on that particular color stop. Good. It's going to stitch right over the top of that pink. There we go. This green matches the dark green in the leaves. Very pretty. Okay. NorCal Quilter, what happened that you guys are still here? I'm stitching a really long design making this bag. Oh, sewing up your UFO counts as decluttering. I like that theory made by Margie. I love that. Oh, nope. Okay, the top of my tomato stitched. So now I'm going to take the green off and put the blush or crush back on. Kind of a dusty pink, but it matches the dusty pink in the flowers. So pretty. All right. Just stop it mid-deal. Okay. Mid-run. Just stop it. Where are we at? Okay. That looks good. Okay, it's going to stitch my spool of thread now. What's a cock? There's no cockroach. Ugh. You need Finish It Fridays? Yeah, we do. You know what? That's a great idea, Trish. Sailing Serendipity says we need Finish It Fridays. You're liking the process of do I love and can I use it? If neither is true, it goes. That's a great way to get rid of things. The problem is, can I use it? So can I use it causes more clutter than you can imagine. Y'all are coming and going. I love it. Nancy's back. Had to stop for a quick meeting, but back on. Yep. Okay. Oh, good. That turned out really pretty. Now I need the detail stitching on my thread spool. Can I use it will cause you to hold on to more stuff than you can imagine, because you can use everything. So that's not a good rule, okay? The rule is, am I going to use it? Okay, that's better. Am I going to use it? If I'm not going to use it, like I went through and got rid of all of my fabric that came from other places than a quilt store, because I'm not going to use that fabric. I got rid of it, donated it or whatever. Do I use it? Yes. Do I use it? Works better. Now I have a lot of things in like these Alex drawers. I culled that out years ago, and I have kept all of those things that are useful. I might not be using it now because it's a sewing gadget, but I'll use it. And I'd have to go buy another one if I needed it. So I kept those. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that turned out cute. Now I need the detail stitching on the spool tops, and I have this beautiful blue for that. The ends of the spool. I think I'm about done. We're going to stitch the scissors. I'm going to need some assistance choosing thread colors for the scissors. Okay. So I can use regular glide thread, or I have two different colors of metallic from Kingstar. That's the best metallic thread. If you're brand new to machine embroidery and you're looking at buying metallic threads because you want to do something sparkly, buy Kingstar, and you get that at OESD. I have a link below to OESD, so if you click that link, it'll take you in there, and it's called Kingstar. It's the best in the industry. It doesn't kink, and it does the greatest stuff. So, all right. So what on my little, we're going to do little embroidery scissors, the little ones that look like a stork, you know. So I have the regular glide, I have a darker gold, and I have a lighter gold. These, I can really see the difference between these myself. It doesn't show up so well in camera. Metallic. Okay, so we've got a vote for metallic. I like that as well. Now the darker gold, here's where I'm at. The lighter gold. I'm with you on the light gold. Keep those tools from junior high and you're 71. That's fine, Vicki. Keep them. So here's the thing. Hold on. The darker gold is closer in color to the zipper, but it's not the same. Whereas this will be a contrast, the lighter gold. Betsy says, I'm here just in stealth mode. Betsy, you asked me something the other day. I couldn't remember, and I was going to tell you. Okay. So now we're ready. Oh, I got to do something. We're going to do the pins. Okay, so I'm going to make the pins. The pins, metallic silver. So let me show you. Okay. Here's the dark gold for the embroidery scissors. Whoop. Or the light gold. Dark gold, light gold. I'm liking the light. Contrasting gold, light gold. Okay. All right, we're going with light. So I've been here so long. It's 10 a.m. and my robot's going to go off and vacuum the floor. Okay. So let me show you how good this works. I use a little piece of tape to keep the end. You do not need to change your bobbin thread unless you're doing freestanding lace. And the first time I made a video using this thread, I did it making a Christmas angel that you would hang on a tree. It was an ornament from Designs by JUJU, and it came out beautiful. I'm doing this in real time. Y'all not going to, you know, I'm not zipping through it on a pre-recorded. Okay. I do have to get out of here by 11:30 for sure because I've got to pick up my groceries. Okay. So this particular thread is metallic. These fibers are wrapped around. It's like silk threads for the strength. It is the same thread. I learned about this from the late, great Deborah Jones. She was Dime. She worked for Dime. She was a partner. Barbara says, I could hang out with you all day. How do you talk to yourself that long? I'm an only child. So this is the same thread that is used to make those beautiful ceremonial kimonos in Japan. Same thread. It is called FUJIX King Star. I don't know if you can see it. And you'll notice it is not kinking. You're not, well, you can't see it against the light, but it's not kinking. And I'm doing my little pins. And then I have pin heads on top of the pin cushion. Maybe could have used a darker silver. Oh, well. Y'all, I have used other brands of metallic thread and I cannot like them. Here comes the robot. It's a little shark. Trish says, now I need to buy King Star. Only if you're going to need it, you know. Now, they have got trios. Like they have a red, white, and silver, which is really nice. They've got Christmas colors. They've got Halloween combos. It's so cool. Look at that. Not a single bit of drama on my little pins. Can you see them? Look at my little pins. Didn't they come out cute? It's adorable. Oh, my gosh. No, I did not change the needle. I'm using the same needle, same bobbin. With King Star metallic thread, you do not need to change all of that. Husband is asking, what do I think about the vacuuming gadgets? So I have two vacuuming gadgets. I have two of their sharks. Where's he at? Where's he at? There he is, right there. See him doing his thing. And I don't like him back here in my cords. So I'm going to tell it, go somewhere else. This one mops too, but I don't use the mop feature because it drags water all over the house. I can't like that. So I have one in here because I'm in an old 2-car garage. So there's a large step between here and the rest of the house. So I have one in here and I have one for the rest of the house. I love it because I have 2 dogs that shed. And I buy the ones okay. I buy the ones that you can program, okay? Don't get a cheap one. The cheap ones, I swear China's mapping out your house. What are we doing? I have a couple of different color pin tops. Okay. So we'll do red ones. No, did I want one? I'm going to use blue and gold and red. Yeah. Okay. So the one And I buy the ones that empty themselves, okay? And it's the best place to get them is at Costco. So it empties itself, and it has an app. Everything has an app. Okay, so hold on a minute. Shark or Dyson, both of those comply with Made in the USA. So you shouldn't have China eyeball in your house. Okay, so what I did is I set it on its initial mapping. I closed off all the doors where I didn't want it to go. And it went around the whole house, okay, and did its thing. It just did the outside. It's not vacuuming. It just goes around the whole outside of the perimeter of where I want it to go. Then I tell it where not to go. I don't want it to go behind the couch because I have curtains that go to the floor there, and the curtains that go to the floor and vacuums don't work well together. I don't want it to go under my bed because my bed are those movable ones and there's cords. So I just told it where I didn't, that is so cute, where I didn't want it to go, which is fine. I gave it no-go zones. And then it just goes every day. This one goes at 10 a.m. and the other one goes at 2 p.m. And every other week, I empty out the containers where it empties itself. And I do not have dog fur all over my house. Too little blue. Okay. Oh, see our hat? Bought a shark for the church. It's awesome for the sanctuary. Good. Sometimes they'll forget their mapping. You got to redo them. Yeah. It happens. Your husband named yours Lurch. I really like the shark. You get more vacuum for the money if you buy it at Costco or Sam's or something like that. Okay, time for the scissors. We're going with the light gold. Yeah. Every once in a while, this one will get caught up. It gets underneath my ironing station, and I usually take my mat that I have there and block it. But I let it go under there every so often just to make sure things. What are you looking at, Frito? Is there something outside, baby? Is there something outside? You better sit there and scratch. Okay. I got this brand new silver, or this brand new thread. Will it mess it up? So like yesterday, the robot said, something is jamming my brush. Error number 4. And I went and looked, and it had got itself hung up on the cord of my camera. So I try to keep those out of the way when it's going to be going. Okay, we're going with the light gold. Y'all, if I don't like the light gold, you know what I'll do? I'll go over it with the dark. Whoop. We haven't even gotten to the back of this bag yet. Okay. Oh, and it's going to do 2 little gold pin heads. I'm going to stop it and do yellow pin heads with regular thread, I think, instead of gold pin heads. That's not threaded. What happened? There we go. What adhesive do I use for a t-shirt quilt? Oh, that's pretty. I use Pellon's 911F on the back of the shirts. Look at that. Beautiful. Wow. That's King Star metallic thread. Rhonda says, I'm going to put me on the TV. I'm going to put Becky on the TV so I can start my tours. NorCal Quilter, that's Family Affair. Remember the TV series that had Mr. French in it? Yeah, that was Family Affair. Buffy and Jody? Yeah. They do look good in the metallic, don't they? Oh my gosh, those are so pretty. You're welcome. Like, that was driving me crazy. I got some jump threads there on the pin cushion that need to be trimmed. I'll do that when we're done. Very nice. All right, I stopped it. I'm going to do yellow thread here instead of the gold metallic. I need to get a piece of tape and tape that end down. So I'm going to use this instead. I think it'll show up better. Okay. Put these together. Make a loop. Pull the tails through the loop. Open up my tension dials. There are discs. Uh-oh. I do not know what happened to my little bitty snips. I don't know where they went. Okay. That's right, Dee. Yeah, Mr. French was played by Sebastian Cabot. Sure was. That is so pretty. All right, and two more in a different color. What color? The baby blue or the green? No, baby blue. Yeah. The lighter blue. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, if this was all just embroidery, like what we're doing right now, I would certainly have done this on the multi-needle. But because it has so much work on the back of the hoop, that's where I like to use the flatbed. Yeah, the doll was really popular. I had that doll, Mrs. Beasley, right? Yeah. Okay. Boy, that was a lot, wasn't it? That was a lot. That took like half an hour. This turned out just beautiful. Look at those. Didn't they come out pretty? And they match so nice. The back is not going to be a lot. No. Okay. I don't think so, Shan. We'll see. Okay, now let's get back to the instructions and see what we got to do. All right, so we've done all of the stitching. We're down to the next page. Here we go. We've finished all of this. All right, remove hoop and flip. On the back of the hoop, now look, the arm is over here on my right. On the back of the hoop, place smaller fabric F piece right side together, aligning the edge of the fabric with the left edge of the zipper tape as shown. The fabric will be covering the zipper. All right. Okay, you want to see my gold metallic thread? Yeah, that was MG4. MG4. The darker one is MG1. I bet you MG is metallic gold. MG4 was the lighter one. Take my little piece of tape and tape that down. It doesn't leave any residue on the thread. It's nice. All right. That fabric is fabric F. And fabric F, it said the smaller one. So I've got these two pieces from this line called Wild Honey by Layla Boutique. I'm using the words. These are fabrics I really wouldn't use usually because they're directional, and I'm not a fan of the word larva, but it'll be fine for a lining, right? All right. This is the top. So it has it like this. It had the arm over here. Remember, where's my pad? So this is the top of the bag on this side. It said right sides together. So this needs to look just like this. So I'm going to fold it, flip it down. I'm still on, babe. 2 hours? Well, I'm sewing this bag. Yeah, it takes a long time. Okay. They wanted to see Sophia again. All right. I think that's right. I think. All right. This is going to show on the top. I'm going to go back to this thread. It really blends in perfectly with everything on the bag. Okay. Right? Yes. It's not so contrasting like a white. It's kind of a sandstone color. This is the same color thread I use when I go over applique on the long arm. You just can't see it. Dottie. Okay, so it's going to stitch down. All right. Lynn, I can't make heads or tails out of their right sides together. That's hard for me. To me, right sides together is 2 pieces of fabric. Right side down means, you know, we're working on the back of the hoop. Okay. Now it wants to do the tack down for that. But before we do that, we have to take the hoop out. I'm going to take this tape off. All right. We're going to flip this back like that and expose that zipper. This is the inside of the bag, is on the underside. You won't see this. All right. So now it's going to do the tack down. So we're going to flip it back over and put it back in. There are some tan little sandstone colored flowers in my outer fabric, and that thread just matches beautifully. All right, Patsy, we'll see you later. Enjoy your day, sweetheart. Dee says, I hope this makes you feel better. What? Here. I made an in the hoop zipper bag recently with a pretty eyelet zipper. Did not show well, but it turned out okay. Okay. Hold on. My robot has a cord. Ugh. Okay. Let me put this up over here. There. And close up the underside of my ironing station so it doesn't. There we go. But y'all, the dogs spend so much time in here. I have to have that robot going around. All righty. That turned out pretty. All right. Next. Okay. This has been done. Step 24 has been done. I'm on step 25. I need the large fabric F on the back of the hoop with the arm over to the right. Okay. Aligning the edge of the fabric with the right edge of the zipper, tape, and the fabric will be covering the zipper. Okay. Oh. Gigi, I hear you, she says. She's made many bags. What did I do with that thing? It was in my, oh, here. And some designers have projects that, instructions that are easier to understand. I'm not throwing Riley Blake under the bus, y'all. I have made my share of bags in my lifetime and have had less trouble. Okay. So it needs to look just like this. The way I like to do fabrics that are directional, okay? Lay it exactly like it's supposed to look. Thank you, Helen, for your sticker. She says, thank you for your extra time. You are more than welcome. Lay it like it's supposed to look with the edges going correct, and then flip it, okay? Don't just flip it down and think you got it right, because you probably don't. Okay. All right, now it's going to sew the bottom of the front lining. All right. Okay. Now I'm making sure I have got this fabric and I've pulled it taut. Okay. It's taped, but still it can get flipped around under there. So be careful. All right. Now it's going to stitch that. It's just doing the tack down line or for the top of that lining. Now this I'm not a fan of. Okay. I got a problem with this. I'm going to change my thread color. Look, let me show you what's happening here. Can you see that line? This line. It's not straight. It's all over the place. I don't like it. I know it's little bitty. I know it's little bitty. I'm going to start again on this stitch. I'm going to start it in a blue. Okay. Yeah, I see it. I don't like it. I don't like it. That's okay. Cut that. This blue? No. This blue. Yes. Okay. Hopefully it covers it. You might see a little bit of the light behind it, but it's just because there's a definitive edge where it looks like it ought to be, and it's not hitting it. Otherwise, it will be fine. Okay. I'm going to hit my needle plus minus. I'm going to go back to the start of that stitch. Let's try that again. I don't want to take it out. I don't have time for that. Hopefully it just covers it. Yeah, I'm trying to match the fabric. Yeah, you can still see it under it, but it's not as bad. I should have done this right color from the beginning. All right, y'all, lesson learned. I'm not going to take it out. I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to dye over it, but I'm not super happy with it. Okay. Yeah, I know. Joanne says, after going through all that, you want the thread to look nice. I know. All right, so now we need to do the tack down for the inner lining. Right? It's going to be beautiful. It's fine. I could give it to somebody and they wouldn't know the difference, right? Okay. Okay, so there we go. So my words are all going the same way, if that matters to you on the inside of a bag. I've taped these, okay? And now it's going to do the tack down, and I am going to switch my thread color back to that neutral color. Mm-hmm. I'm ready for some lunch already. I haven't had breakfast. That's the problem. I might make Keith take me out. Okay, so now it's going to do the tack down on the back. Hey, Bear Margie says, it's so nice to be able to listen and watch all this time. You love it. Why would it be wavy like that? If you match the thread, you wouldn't see it. I don't know. I don't know. It might not be wavy. The fold on the fabric might be not straight, and it makes the line look wavy. Get my helmet? Okay. All right. Now, important. Okay. I don't know what I want for lunch. All right, here we go. Now, we've done all this. We've just sewn that part down. Okay. Open the zipper halfway. They threw this over here on the side. That's a big one, y'all. Don't skip that. Are we still on the back of the hoop? No. And then step 27, which is number 27 on my machine, center the right side fabric down over the entire bag. And then the bag lining. So this is the back of the bag. Is that right? Pretty sure. Let's look. So this is the one, right? That's it. 7x9 rectangle for the backing. This is that fabric. Okay. This is it. Right side down. I can't see where the hoop is. So here on number 26, the tack down stitch, need to open that zipper halfway. It has not told me to flip the hoop. So number 27, put the backing over the entire bag. All righty. Okay. We're going to do it. Taco salad would be great. Right before step 26, it says to flip to the front. Yeah, that's not on the back. It's on the front. And I need to open the zipper. I can't open the zipper from the back. So we are on the front of the hoop. Open the zipper halfway. And I'm going to tape these little ends. They're sewn down, these little ends, but I'm still going to. Okay. And then this guy. This is the back of the bag. Isn't it pretty? That just screams Layla Boutique, doesn't it? I'm going to center it over all those stitches. Okay. This is where your brain gets turned around. Okay. I don't know how they do this. The digitizers, that would make me crazy. Taco salad does sound good. I wish we had a taco cabana nearby. So we've got a restaurant in South Texas. It's called Bill Miller's. It's a barbecue joint. And they make the most wonderful salad delight. I always get mine with barbecued chicken. It's a big salad about that. It comes in a clear tray. It's got a big chunk of chicken on it. I love their ranch dressing. I lost so much weight on those things, low carbing. I haven't had breakfast either. I'm hungry. Okay. So that's on. Now, I think we're going to the last step here, y'all. All right. Now we're going to flip, remove hoop and flip, put the back bag lining right side down, center over the entire bag, and they've taped it top and bottom, and then flip the hoop to the front, and it's going to stitch. All right. We're in the home stretch, y'all. Okay. That's what it looks like now. If you don't open that zipper, you're going to be mad. You won't be happy with that. All right. If you forgot to open the zipper, see if you can do it now and scooch it with your fingernail a little bit. All right. And I did not have another piece of the pink lining with the words, but I have the gold lining, the gold with the words. Okay. So again, I want these to look right side up. Okay, I'm going to put it over the whole thing. Line it up. Like that. All right. This looks good. Okay. Back into the machine. It goes. Woohoo, yeah. All right. The last step is going to leave a gap here on this side to pull the lining through and flip it all around. Renata said nailed it. Well, Renata, not quite. We had a little hiccup in the beginning. So it's doing a heavy triple stitch. You want to make sure you do not get your tape in the way of that. Pulling tape out of a triple stitch is miserable. The anticipation is real. Yay! I'm going to put my tails of my thread up while I'm waiting for that to do that. So y'all, you know, where the snag came was in the beginning with me because I did not pay attention that the numbers in the circles on the instructions for Riley Blake Designs are actual stitching steps. Okay, that was my fault. I should have said that. And now I know. And I've made plenty of these, but I haven't made their bags. That's done. That's done. This done. Okay. The aloe, the green, has to go back on the machine because on my 10 needle because I'm going to finish up those not Stitch Your Sewing Room, but Sipping on Sunshine. A couple more blocks. Yay! I love that sound. We did it. We did it. How long have we been on? Oh my goodness, 2.5 hours. Okay. So now, let me pull this out. Okay. I'm going to set this down here. All right. I dropped my scissors. Oh, I'd have been looking for those. Okay. All right. This says, remove the bag from the hoop, remove excess stabilizer, trim all around, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance from the final seam stitch, including the zipper. Clip the corners, pull the entire bag through the lining and turn it right side out. Remove the lining from the bag and pin the opening closed, shut by hand or machine. You know what I'm doing with that, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go over to the cutting table, y'all. We're going to see what it looks like. Yeah, we are. Okay. I'm gonna come around here, this side. Alrighty. So I'm not going to leave a 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to leave a 1/2, only because when you go to press, it's just easier. Now I got a lot of stuff going on here. I'm going to leave a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Make sure that that zipper tab is not anywhere near my blade. Nope. And I don't want that metal piece. I'll use a 1/4 inch here. Let me see if I do the 1/2. Is it covered? I don't want to hit that. Good. Okay. So this didn't cut all the way through. I felt that. You can do yourself for a pretty finish inside. Okay. You can iron this now. Sorry about that, y'all. More spam. We are in a runoff right now in Texas, and so lots of political calls coming in. Okay, so you can, before you start flipping all of this, all right, I'm just going to fold these back and really create a good pressed, kind of press these seams open Okay, and that'll make the inside, it won't be all bubbly. It'll look good. I got to cut those corners. Let me do that quickly. Let me cut these corners here. 90 or 45. Yeah, I forgot to do that. It's just, I've made so many bags. You just get such a prettier finish if you can press these open, you know, kind of give the fabric the idea of where you want it to go. It'll just look better. Okay. And then here, I'm going to press my linings apart, just one layer. No work is finished until the pressing is done. Got tape. Any bag that I do, I always do this first. It's really hard once you've got them turned. Real hard. Okay. At least get one half of that seam pressed open and it'll make your life a lot easier. Okay. So we're going to, now we got to turn this. And it ain't going to be fun. And my hands are going to holler at me because they're osteoarthritis. Not happy. All righty. Come on. I'm going to sit down. Well, no, I'm not going to sit down because I want to press as soon as I get this. I try to put my finger in that corner and push. I hope this is big enough to put something in. I think it will be. Oh my gosh, y'all. This is the part I hate. Don't you? And you really need to take your time and make it look nice, or you're going to have to go back and redo it. You know, go back in there and poke those out, flip them again. Ugh. Okay, my lining looks good. Come on. All right. So now it says to sew or whatever. You've got some nice, you got a nice seam allowance there. I did the 1/2 inch. Okay, so I've got a nice seam allowance right there. That looks pretty good, y'all. On the corners. Yeah. Okay, so I have Stitchuation, which is a permanent adhesive, and I'm going to put that in right now. Right here. And when I do this, I always make it just a tiny bit longer than necessary. And then fold it back. Where are my scissors? There. That's not, is that Stitchuation? No. It might be, but it's the wide stuff. I want this. This is what I want right here. Okay, so I have Stitchuation. This is it. And it's a permanent fusible web. I'm going to make it a tiny bit longer, 1/2 inch or so on each end, than the gap. Okay. And then what I do, this side down, is I put it in the gap and I put it exactly so that it is not hanging out over the edge. Okay. And then I take a magic pin that I can iron on, and I lay it flat in the middle, and then I push it into the edge flat. So it kind of folds back on itself. And steam it. Just that one side. Okay. And then here, I'm going to push it flat from the middle in there, and it'll fold back on itself, and nothing should be hanging out. You don't want any of that adhesive on your ironing surface. Okay, that looks good. Now it's all in there, nice and clean. I have got to get a solution for these cords on this iron. It's driving me crazy. This needs steam. Look how pretty that is. Let it cool a minute so it doesn't pull apart. Love it. Love that. All right. I don't know. This doesn't feel like Stitchuatory. It feels like some other, it's probably some other bond. I just don't know what it was. All right. So now that we have, that gap is open, right? Now we can get, open it some more if I can. Let me go sit down now. Well, this was a marathon session, y'all. Oh my goodness. Linda, you're welcome. She says, nice bag. I know, bright light. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, so now I need to get the rest of the bag turned through the gap. Modified shepherd's hook at the end of my table. I'm thinking about some sort of spring from the ceiling. Ta-da! Peggy says ta-da. Okay. Yeah, that Stitchuatory works so nice. I don't have to go sew it. You know, I'm not doing a thing by hand. Never. I can avoid it at all costs. Okay. This is super cute. It's a little bitty bag, y'all. Okay. There it is. Look at that. My little zipper bag. I need to push my corners out. Turned out beautiful. Boom! I know Cabrina says boom. Yeah, so you're going to have rounded corners here. I guess you can kind of push them out. You can get that in there. I don't like rounded corners. I want pointy corners. It did turn out nice though, right? Push these corners out. There we go. I had that one was tucked. Very, very cute. It turned out adorable. I have a loose thread. Let me get rid of that. Okay. And the lining looks amazing. See? It's very well made. I'm going to press it down real good. It'll be nice and crisp. And who knows, if we are at a retreat together one time or another, you may see me using this. Now, my bee tendencies wishes that these were clear windows so I could see what's in there. All right, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you have an amazing day. I will be back here tomorrow. For an hour, we're going to sew a block for the America 250 quilt. And, well, Sabrina, I just love you too. Thank you so much. This was fun. Now you know how to do yours, and set aside about 2 hours and you should be able to get it done. It turned out just absolutely adorable. Okay. So I'll talk to you soon. Y'all go sew something. Bye.